Hello guys, good afternoon. It's finally nice and grey. Do you know what? There's been too much sunlight for December, if you ask me. Yes, I'm really tired. I already got spots and stuff, you know. Yeah, I'm really tired actually. Yeah. Haven't been sleeping very well. It could be worse and it could be better, but I am proud of, yeah, looking rough, basically. Like my daughter, she was saying, "Oh, look how pretty you were." And honestly, when you get to my age and you look at pictures of yourself 10 years ago, it can be really quite shocking. And she was like, "Oh, look, if you hadn't smoked, then you would look a lot better." But I tell you, right, I could have done a lot worse with my time, and I was pregnant, and I pointed out to her straight away, "Excuse me, I was pregnant and breastfeeding for 7 years of my life, right? I was nearly pregnant for 3 years, like an elephant." I'm sure I've said that before, but yeah. So it could look better and it could look worse, and I'm deciding not to sleep that well, and I'm still smoking, like nearly rotting my teeth out, but I've got good teeth. I was born with good teeth, and you know. And at least, and like, as I age, I determined to try and scare people. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I got smacked in the middle of the forehead about 3 or 4 years ago. And I literally have, like, especially, like, if I get a bit of a cold and that, like, it literally has changed the whole shape of my face, to be quite honest with you. Because I reckon my nose is wider. Your nose gets wider as you get older. But, like, no, my eyebrows used to go up. They're very moving, my eyebrows. Oh, and that's nothing as you get older. Face stops moving as well as it used to. But, yeah, like, I'm pretty gacky at the moment. But, like, I am smoking. I just feel like when it comes to the point where I'm going to give up, but I've got strong lungs as well. Like, if I breathe into it, like one of those breathalyzers, you know, when you get them at school, those breathalyzers, and you have to, like, you know, when you're, yeah, and you, like, in those sort of like lunchtime things. Well, not when you're at school. When you carbon monoxide monitors, we used to do it at school and go and have like 2 fags around the corner in the hard court and then go and breathe into the carbon monoxide machine to see how high it gets. Well, my lungs are really strong. Like 2 or 3 years ago, I caught pneumonia. No, not 2 or 3 years ago. Why do I say it's 2 or 3 years ago? That's another thing. When you get old, you think everything is only about 2 or 3 years ago. It was like, literally, it's the last rave I went to. Like, it was a real dirty, like, hardcore rave. Because I've always liked the hardcore love scene. Love. Like, piano and that. Well, when I was young, I don't like it anymore. Like, if I put it on now, it literally gives me a headache. And it's been a very long time since I've played hardcore. I'm more into techno now, and yeah, but yes, it was the last time I was at a rave. I was like 27. I had 2 children, and they were 2 and 4 at the time, and I was 24. And I'm glad I haven't been to a rave as an old raver. Not giving, and I might. You never know. I like when I go Glastonbury. I go dancing hard. Like, I didn't so much this year, but the year before, I went in this, like, hardcore, like, ooh, do. Like, but it got into, like, gabber in the end. I was in there till 6:30 in the morning, just like, ooh, gabbering out and sweating. And that, you know, and I don't think I'm going to do that many more times in my life. It's actually quite sad. I haven't been sleeping very well. I've been doing a lot of thinking at night, in the middle of the night. And I was thinking, like, God, and if I'm not careful, which is fine, because there's other things I like doing. I like doing all sorts of things, and that's good to have a range of. But I only go out partying once a year, like to Glastonbury, and it's not on this year, so I'm deciding what I'm going to do in that. And I just know that this year when I was at Glastonbury and I was 34 and I was in my little glittery hot pants, yeah, handling them like full on, and I was 34, and made it through, like, you know, I nearly came back insane. That's normal, like me, like my whole face nearly fell off, and it's a very long story. Came home talking to pigeons. No, not pigeons. Do you know, honestly, the pigeon community around my house, could be like, keeps calling us pigeons, man, and we're like ring-necked doves. Like ring-necked doves. They're not even normal doves. They're like ring-necked doves, and I keep flagging them down, calling them pigeons. But yeah, I spoke to pigeons a little bit, and then I had a nap, and then I was fine, you know, it's fine. Like, back to mumland the next day. I couldn't speak for 2 weeks, but that's that. But then it was the last time I've been out, so I'm glad that I couldn't speak for 2 weeks, because, you know, I had to hit it hard or go home, and literally I've been home since. But this year I'm not going to be going to, I wouldn't ever go to a rave. But yeah, I got pneumonia at my last rave, like hardcore rave. And then I went to another rave at one point and ended up seeing ISIS on the door, and then she told me to basically go home. And like, that's the last time I ever went to a full-on hardcore rave. I remember seeing my dad's old friend in there. It was about 55, and he was like on some, like, I don't know, but he was having a great time. And I just remember thinking, no, I was actually going to go there and MC. Quite, it's a long story, but I nearly became an MC and all that. Like, my dad was like an MC in the raves. Yeah, but no, I got pneumonia. That I was like a kick in the teeth. But then the doctor said to me, she said, you're going to get all these illnesses for ages, for years after this. You know, you fucked your left lung and that. And I am gacky because I smoke, but I don't get ill. I've been trying, right? I had a bit of a temperature, like I get a little bit like that. I don't get ill for about 3 years. But I haven't had pneumonia or a sore throat. I got a little bit of COVID symptoms when it was around, but mate, no, I never got pneumonia again, and I never got a really sore throat, but I did have, so this was back in 2015 that I got pneumonia. But the year after, I went to Amsterdam for the first time, and the only time I've ever been to Amsterdam. And I had the most, and anyone else would resonate with this, right? I've been smoking since I was 11, literally, as disgusting as that is. But I went to Amsterdam and I couldn't even smoke. I had the worst tickly cough. Like, can you imagine going to Amsterdam? Excuse me, I didn't have to actually clear my throat a minute. It's quite disgusting. Yeah, can you imagine going to Amsterdam and not being able, I couldn't smoke, basically. So I'm like, and I like, I'll never forget it. Like, obviously I did smoke, but I was just ruining the atmosphere everywhere. Like the worst tickly cough ever. So I've always said, like, I've been to Amsterdam, but I haven't. Oh, and that was a wild story. Like, meant up booking a hotel online, like, that was about 2 hours out of central Amsterdam. It's dodgy. Just be careful, guys, when you go around travelling. I've done the same when I went to London. Once I booked just like this posh hotel, but like, it was not posh, but it was like a new hotel, and it had discounts on it. It said, you know, it's in London. So I didn't really think much of it. But it was like 9 o'clock and we're getting a tube to where our hotel was. And we thought, right, you know, better just start getting into the, I don't know, we're quite good. This is before I had children, I think. Yeah, well, no, it doesn't matter. This was a long time ago. But we ended up going onto these different tubes. We thought we're going into like North London or South London, like, and it got really quiet. And then these tubes got like, they weren't even like trains anymore. It was like we ended up in like a hole in the wall in London. We're like, oh, should we actually get on this train? Because I don't think it's going to. And we got on it, and it was like really, really dodgy part of London that we arrived in. It was awful, and we nearly got mugged, and we just ran across the road from the tube that we came out of the hole of the ground, and just ran to the hotel and then ran out of it. But just be careful when you're booking cheap hotels online, that you're not going to end up. No one wants to end up like the film Hostel when you're in Amsterdam, you know. Hostel, that's a good. But basically, yeah. So you are what you eat. No. So. Oh, it's not horrible, but like, my daughter's obviously got my genetics and my partner's genetics, and their teeth fall out. Like, they have baby teeth and they fall out and stuff. So as much as I smoked and my teeth are a bit this and that, Like, my teeth don't fall out so much in my generation. And like, my lungs are strong, so I kick it, you know? And I don't really know. Honestly, I wasn't even going to talk rubbish. I was actually going to say something, I'm sure, really, really, really useful about doves. It's just, yeah, just remember that we don't know anything about the way the birds connect to the magnetic fields. Just trust. I'm a little bit suspicious of crows at the moment. I don't know if anyone... I watched a documentary years ago, like when I first really started to get into this spiritual stuff a lot, like, you know, really, well, not first, it's always been like this, but yeah, I found out about how they work with crows in the police, and apparently crows know where everybody lives in every, like, and they just, like, they're really nosy, and, like, you know, they'll watch you. If they see you just down the road, they'll go, oh yeah, she lives at so-and-so house, and they go and tell each other different things, like, don't, you know, in their body language, it's just basically what they do. You know, they eat you, don't you, if you die, but, like, they literally watch you. And I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a huge difference between the doves and the pit and the crows. Like, just be careful, because awareness is key usually to protecting yourself. So just careful what you're engaging with. And, like, right now I'm losing time, but I was really good yesterday. But just dip and dabble in what you're doing. Make sure that it's not consistently one way or the other. And I just realised that I had a shower and I didn't put deodorant on yet. Not that I'm stinking yet, but that's always a worry, isn't it? Is that you can have a shower and then half an hour later do a little bit of stress, and it's like, oh, and it's too late, you know. But yeah, just one random fact. Just apparently you're supposed to put deodorant on before you go to bed, while your armpits are still, and then it absorbs all for the next day. So don't use too much deodorant, because we all know it can be dangerous. Yeah, but I was also basically going to point out that I'm proud that as I'm aging, right, we've all had different things that will either age us or not. But I'm glad that I'm not fiddling around with my face, and I'm fully aware that if I stopped smoking, I would be more glowy. And I'm considering it for my health. Considering it, even though it's one of my favourite things to do. But I am getting much more gacky after 20 years plus of smoking. It's starting to get me. If it could be worse, it could be worse. So I'm fully aware that it's not what it's all about, guys, and people can get so obsessed. Like, my poor sister, she's so beautiful, and she's only like 22, and she's really successful. She's like she's got a really successful nail business, like, really fucking, she just manifests, I'd say. She's so chilled. I was gonna say she's so chill. I've been watching way too many young people. So chill, mate, bro. Yeah, but she's done the whole... She does this lady's nails that does Botox and or filler and that, and when she's doing her nails, this lady comes over and she's got the injector in her bag. She's like, no, mate, just put a little bit in your chin. Yeah, like, she's like, put this stuff in her chin. And I was like, and her lips, like, you know. And she's only 22 or 23 now. Yeah, like, and I'm just thinking, God, how are you going to maintain this? And, like, she's got this stuff in the chin, and she's like, well, you know, she just said yes, and then... So just be careful, because I reckon that, like, all that stuff will just weigh. You can't get away with aging, guys. You get like a window, and you'll never realise how youthful you are until you're not youthful. And then, like, 10 years from now, I'll look back and go, oh, look at you. You were a bit youthful, and then I'll be even more older. So, you know, I know I'm all for the better toothpaste these days. You know, it's so funny, isn't it, how, like, everyone had yellow teeth in the pre-90s, and I know I've got bad teeth from smoking and that, but it could be worse. Like, it could be whiter, you know, but it's okay. Just keep balance, you know. So I was actually going to do a video about Mani Pahdme Hum, which apparently, if you know the saying Mani Pahdme Hum, everything about the Buddha and the lotus, the jewel of the lotus is within those, is it 6 syllables? 5, Mani Pahdme Hum, 6 syllables. Yeah, I went on to 10%. But yeah, Mani Pahdme Hum. Mani Pahdme Hum. Yeah. Knowing these things, knowing these sayings in my life has definitely cemented more of a stable connection to the divine source. So always be open to flipping around with different character traits, because actually I used to think that was a problem. I was trying to build myself up a character when I was young, and I was like, I don't, even a few years ago, I thought it was a problem that I slip between different characters most days. But I've realised it's just that, and if you can slip and grind between the different energy that is around you at that time, and then move on quickly without really like going into it, like whether you make mistakes or good things, whatever, and you just keep flowing, not put too much emotion or shame on anything, and just keep going, you're going to find it a lot easier to ride if you can see yourself as a vessel of energy, like a bit like a TV. And it is scary using the word possessed, but we are like constantly being possessed by the numbers and the words around us constantly, and it is up to you as a to just tune in to which one you're on, and just yeah, so I think there is a huge interest at the moment with, well, not at the moment, it always has been, of like watching each other, because we all share the same collective consciousness. And even if you're just watching someone doing anything, I was going to say watching someone doing a poo, but that would be a bit far, wouldn't it? Be interesting though, wouldn't it? But what I'm trying to say is there's a natural inquisitiveness to watching each other, not just celebrities so much now, like it's just, we're all sharing collective consciousness, and I just think whatever we share, it can do good for the air, really. So yeah, that's basically what my point is, and I am going to go because I hate it when videos go on too long. Well, I don't hate it though. I really enjoy, and I try not to select too many people in my life. I've probably got about 7 or 8 internet, no, 6, 7, 8 more, but internet people that I'm like clicking and clocking. I'm proud of the people that I'm watching at the moment, and I just enjoy sharing the frequency of the people that I'm watching. And like, just been watching all sorts of random things, like even an interview with Kurt Cobain and Nirvana in the bath the other day from 1991. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoy, I'm very much connected to Kurt's possession, not yet. But yeah, so just know everything's in flow, yo. That's about it, really. I'm sure I wasn't going to say anything too much more important. I don't like to clock off too soon, but yeah, just, so I have posh pigeons around here because of my Holy Trinity Church. Put pigeons, oh, doves, I mean. I'm not crazy, honestly, I'm not crazy. I'm going to do my yoga now. I'm not going to walk the dog, it's a bit grey. But I've got, yeah, a lot to do. I'm a busy person. Really busy. I'm being serious, really busy, like got so many people relying on me, and sometimes it's really good for me to just be in this silly frequency so I don't burn out as well, and not in the I can put a lot of pressure on myself to do, and it's good to sometimes just stop and go, what are you worrying about? And just really try not to worry. And yeah, you know, I've got to paint the whole house, but it's when I'm ready. I'm going to paint the whole house. I don't have to. It's just my ego that wants to. It's not like skanky. So yeah, just do what you got to do, but also just know that there's nothing wrong with just... I am actually going on now. So bye. Yeah, cheers. Bye. Got to stop doing that though.